For a majority of people, learning a second language has been a goal at some point in their lives, though this goal has often been unattainable. People learn languages in classrooms, and the reason for this is obvious. You get role play, conversation, interaction, grammar, and writing. But what about people that don't have access to classrooms? Or what about the students that go home from class and are limited to homework with worksheets and practicing on your own? But what if it was possible to interact with other speakers, even when we aren't in class? How might we experience language and culture that goes hand in hand with it as a social activity for those that wish to learn but do not have access to a classroom or classmates at home? Imagine this application, Rosetta Stone++. A user logs on and they are prompted to choose a region in which they are required to complete an assignment. Having this option of regions allows students to learn the cultural and dialectical variations for a specific language. Upon choosing a region, the user's assignment is displayed. It usually will consist of tasks that require users to engage with their environment. For example, an environment might consist of requiring a user to locate a cafe, which requires a user to ask for directions, arrive at the cafe and order a specific meal, which requires the user to ask about food, etc. So the user begins the assignment at an undisclosed location in downtown France. Here, they can start asking for directions. You can see that the user can see their own body on the screen. Now that he has procured directions, he puts one foot forward and leans forward to adjust acceleration in order to reach the cafe. Once he arrives at the cafe, he starts his second task to ask the waiter for the specials. If the user has trouble with the task, like this user does, the native speaker can attempt to help him work out the sentence, or, if he feels the student is too unprepared, he can send him to the review room. In the review room, a student has 4 options. Number 1, they can review the recordings of their conversations. Number 2, in a Rosetta Stone style format, they can go through the vocab and grammar lessons. Number 3, they can practice with the teacher. Or number 4, they can go back to France and pick up their assignment where they left off. As mentioned before, the native speaker is actually a person on the Connect in a different location. This introduces the idea of monetization, which would involve paying a qualified native speaker to engage with our students. Or we could have a sister school system in which, for instance, a teacher from France might interact with American students in exchange for an equal amount of time for a native English-speaking teacher to spend the same amount of time interacting with the French students in France, teaching them English. As you can see, this fully immersive language experience is not only useful for academia, but could also be good for corporate training or for anyone who might want to learn a second language. Thank you.